Why is it that those who long for God the most often feel the fiercest battle inside? I thought I was growing stronger in faith, but instead it feels like my world is falling apart. I pray, I seek, I try, and yet I stumble again. There's a silent pain I can't share, a fear that if others knew, they'd see how weak I really am. Doubts creep in. Am I truly His? Why do I feel so far from the God I love? But this isn't just weakness. This is war, and the Bible warned us about it. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers. Ephesians 6:12. The struggle you feel, it's the sign of the unseen battle for your soul. You are not alone in it. It starts quietly. The believer walks the familiar path of prayer, worship, and daily faith. Outwardly, everything seems in order. Life flows as it always has. But within, something shifts. A faint anxiety rises, uninvited, unexplained. A heaviness in the soul, like a storm cloud on the horizon that no one else can see. The spirit testified, but the mind resisted. The heart felt what the mind refused to name, a warning, a subtle pull away from the light. Why this restlessness? Why this sense that something is not right? There is no clear sin yet, no dramatic fall, only a quiet slipping, so slow that the soul hardly notices. The Bible speaks of this hidden danger. The inner man feels the weight of spiritual pressure before it becomes visible outwardly. The enemy's attack is gentle at first. A whisper, a suggestion, a small compromise offered as relief. The believer doesn't turn from God outright. No, it's more like a gradual drifting, as if the feet lose grip on the firm ground of truth, sliding downward without realizing the slope beneath them. This is where the battle truly begins, in the unseen, silent war of the heart. Each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. James 1:14. The crisis does not break in with noise. It falls like a heavy silence. The believer, once eager in spirit, now turns inward. The world outside continues as before, but inside all feels hollow. Guilt clings to the soul like a shadow that won't let go. Prayer becomes a whisper lost in the dark. The warmth of God's presence, once so near, now feels distant, as if hidden behind a veil. The heart aches, but does not know how to reach Him. The flesh whispered, and the spirit fell silent. In this emptiness, the enemy draws near with his counterfeits. When a person drifts from God, he searches for a substitute. And the enemy is ready, offering false comforts, fleeting distractions, illusions that numb but never heal. The soul, desperate for peace, grasps at these shadows, only to sink deeper into restlessness. Each night stretches long, sleepless, heavy with unspoken cries. Where are you, Lord? Have you turned from me? And yet, in the stillness where shame and longing meet, something begins to stir. A thirst deeper than the need for comfort. A hunger for real light. Not the enemy's illusions, but the true living presence of God. God's hand is not seen yet, but the soul begins to sense. He is near. The rescue is coming. Out of the depths I cry to you, Lord. Lord, hear my voice. Psalm 131:2. Friends, let me take a short pause here. Please share in the comments. Where are you listening to this story from? Have you ever experienced something like this in your own walk of faith? Those silent moments when it felt as if God was far, but your heart was longing for Him? How did the Lord speak to you in such times? I'd truly love to hear your testimony. And don't forget to subscribe. There is so much more to come, more light, more revelations from God's Word that I believe will touch your soul deeply. At last, the weight became too much to bear. The believer could no longer live with the emptiness, the silent nights, the false comforts that soothed nothing. The soul broke open, not in pride, but in deep, aching humility. Tears fell, unstoppable. There were no grand speeches, no perfect prayers, only simple, trembling words. God, I can't do this. Help me. He could not climb out of the pit, but God came down, and when God came, he came in mercy, not to condemn, but to lift up. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart, O God, you will not despise. Psalm 51:17. Grace poured in where shame had ruled. The light that the soul had longed for broke through the cracks of surrender. The heart felt clean, not by its own strength, but by the cleansing touch of the Lord. Prayer returned, not as duty, but as life. The voice of God, once distant, was heard again, gentle, near, full of love. The believer's spirit, once numb, now burned with new fire. Step by step, God rebuilt what had seemed lost. Where guilt had crushed, joy blossomed. Where sin had silenced, praise rose. Holiness was no longer a burden. It was a gift, a sign of the God who restores. And in that moment it became clear. The fall was not the end. It was the doorway to a deeper walk with God. If you are in this battle, know this: you are not alone. This struggle is a sign that you matter, that you carry a calling the enemy fears. The enemy attacks those who are marked by God's purpose. But God is mighty to restore even what seems dead. Don't stay in the shadows. Write, share. Walk this path to the end in God's light. Your story is only beginning.